and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to play around a little bit in Ibis Paint. I'm not too sure what exactly I'm going to be doing. All I know is that I want to draw Venti as kind of like a J-pop idol kind of esque in that kind of an outfit, I guess. But I'm going to work in Ibis Paint today just because I kind of want to just like play around, see what we can do. I kind of want to do something in this style again. Probably a little bit cleaner this time because I can see a lot of messy areas and stuff. But last time I tried to film something like this, the footage was botched because of corrupted files. So let's try doing something like this where we do more of a finished piece in Ibis Paint. I feel like most of the stuff I've done on Ibis Paint were like these sketch pages, where I know some people think some of these look more complete, but I deemed a lot of these like as sketches. If you guys have seen my previous versions, I do like some of these, but I feel like let's do like more of a finished illustration, because I think Chongyun right here, who looks a little derped out of his face is so crooked, and then I don't really like how I drew Kuching here, so I'm probably gonna redraw her someday. But yeah, another one where I did more of a finished piece. But yeah, let's just start. I'm gonna go and do this in like A5 size, so it's like about 5 by 7. $300 DPI or 350 DPI. Okay, let's just start. As usual, I have to watch the ad so I can have access to all the different pens. Okay, so once the ad is done, you can just press OK, and it says you can use the brushes for 18 hours. But I am going to be using my usual brush first, which is the colored pencil, which is the one I usually like to use just for sketching. It's just more like, I think it's just because like I'm so used to not having a brush that blends or anything. I'm trying my best to get the view as more accurate for you guys, just because I noticed that the canvas is sometimes really overblown due to the exposure. So I'm going to show you guys a quick thing, because I actually did sketches in my sketchbook. I think it's here. Quick little versions of Venti's, maybe his outfit that I would like to have. I think this is what I want, but I'm not too sure if it's too close to his original outfit. So I'm thinking, should we switch it up and change it to be more, I really like the princely outfits for J-pop idols. I think it's always really pretty and really cute. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but that little bit of lag, and I'm always not sure if that's because of my iPad or if it's just Ibis Paint in general, but that's kind of like the biggest reason why I don't use Ibis Paint. So I haven't really been planning how I wanted to pose him. I've been looking at some K-pop performances, specifically of 17 and Pentagon. So 17, I was looking more at like Snapshoot, because I was looking at more cutesy concepts. And then for Pentagon, I was looking at, I think it's Shine that I was looking at. So I could look for more kind of cutesy concepts, because I feel like that would fit Venti quite well. So drawing the body is definitely not my strong suit, but we're just gonna do our best. I tend to draw the body too small compared to the head. I feel like that's the case for this as well. Yeah, I'm not too sure how I want to render this though. I think it'd be fun to do line art and make it simpler by having something to color in rather than having to render everything without line art. And then I've been really into listening to Vocaloid music again for whatever reason. I feel like it's because I'm still in this nostalgic train. Speaking of, how do I want to position his hand? So right now I have an image of 17's Dino from Snapshoot. Like honestly, if you want to look at a video that has someone who's very powerful at dancing but very cute, I highly suggest watching Dino's Snapshoot fan cam. The hand pose from this a little bit. Outfit's kind of gonna interact with this. I guess I'll do something like this. Towards him. I just think like it makes more sense if I put his hand this way. Quick mouth. Probably has like an earpiece. So I'm thinking, I usually draw his hair going this way. I think that'll look cute, but what if we curve it this way? So I want to make sure I don't draw his braids too long, because I also have a mistake of doing that a lot. So I'm trying to kind of do like as if they're just performing. So in my design for Venti's, I think I still want him to have a hat, but I'm going to make his hat kind of like floppy. So you probably have to get rid of this. Gonna draw out the rest of his hair. I love Venti's design. I've talked about this like many times though. And I think I kind of want to have like the vision up here. Because I kind of want to have like his brooch or something here instead, or a flower in his outfit. I hate drawing hands at this angle, so we'll see if I keep this in. I hate that I can see the hand in my head, but I'm having issues drawing this angle. Okay, I just quickly took a photo of my hand. But now that I've looked away from this is way too short. His hand might be too small in general. So just because I have a reference doesn't mean I'm gonna draw this entirely correctly anyways, but at least it will help. I would have to move the hand afterwards, but I want to make sure I can get the fingers all on the canvas. Which is gonna get me into this weird zone of making things look a little bit too weird. My observational skills have definitely gone down. I'm gonna try putting in the nails, I think, maybe, as well, because it kind of helps with the directions of the fingers. I'm gonna make his fingers a little bit more delicate. My fingers are a little chonky. I don't know if you guys can tell. You can probably tell. But because of that, I don't think... I feel like Venti has more delicate looking hands. Yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. I have more issues with this finger because it's not quite pointing towards me. Like in my reference, I cropped it out how I have it. Luckily, Samsung's phone can do that. I don't know if Apple's phones can do that. But there's a way to, I think you can just select an object and it kind of isolates it for you, which is kind of nice. I probably should lower this. I feel like I shouldn't be spending this much time on one hand. I love the song Tell Your World. So it's such a pretty song. Does this make sense? Dude, I really need to practice foreshortening more. I'm gonna leave the hand for now. It still looks oddly not correct. Okay, let's look at the outfit. Okay. So I think I had his vision up here with 2 leaves instead of the flower because I didn't want it to be exactly the same. And I might make it like a chain. It's putting the, like, I guess, I usually like raising one of these fingers because it looks a little bit too like samey. Doing line art for this is gonna be a pain. Button this up, and I do have kind of like, is this called a lapel? I keep forgetting to search this up, so I should really search it up. Like I said, I'm not very good at like design. So apologies that a lot of these elements are probably very generic. Because I even feel like a lot of the stuff I drew for when I turned Masaki, like my OC, into like a idol-esque outfits and stuff. Or outfits. It's very similar to this, I'm assuming. I do think like ruffles and stuff are fun to draw, just I suck at it. But being, it's like sucking at something doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I think I talked about this before too, but if you have a favorite Vocaloid song, let me know. I always feel like Just Be Friends is my favorite, like my all-time favorite. I do like Tell Your World though. So I kind of wanted to have it... See, this is the thing I don't know about design. So like how I have him dressed is that he has like a cape on one side, so it's like flowing on this side. Not that long. But then do I also want it to be long on this side? Because it'll look funny if it's like long on one side, long on the other. I wish they make it more like a jacket vest or something. Like the back, like the end of it is a lot longer. Because I initially had this one short. But maybe I don't like it. Because I do want it to be long, because I do want... How do I explain this? What is that? Like a tail coat? I didn't leave enough room though. I think it looks really pretty. I'm gonna add the diamonds to maybe the edges of here, or just on this one side. Like I said, I know nothing about design, so apologies if this all looks like trash. I think it looks kind of cute. Okay, so I don't know if I should do line art. Okay, I'm just gonna rush through the line art maybe. Do I really want to do line art? Let's just do it, I guess. 'Cause I haven't done, or like me botching up the other one. So I find a brush that I like, that I don't have to modify. Okay, I'm gonna turn on the stabilization, I think. We're gonna try it. So I don't know if I like stabilizer either. We'll see. Okay, so I'm using the hard mapping pen, and I have my stabilizer set to 6. So we'll see how this goes. The thing is, like, I use so many layers when I do line art. Oh, I usually fill this in. Wait a second. Oi. If this doesn't turn out, maybe I'll pop it into Procreate to do another version. I'll do that for another video maybe, because I have a feeling I'm not gonna like this one that much. Because I think I've already said this before, but I like doing line art on the actual tablet, not on like the iPad. So I use a lot of layers. I just don't like how this tapers though. I told myself I wouldn't change the settings because I think it's easier for people to just use the default brushes. Otherwise people are just asking specifically, always like, what settings did you change? So if you can, use the default. I didn't really move it. Oh well. I really don't like how these lines look all too like same thickness. There has to be another pen that I can use that is a little bit more softer in a sense. I'm already too committed. Oh, I didn't really explain why I like to separate my liner into so many layers. It's just because it's easier for me to change the line art color without having to, like, if I wanted to color the eye, like I wouldn't have to go over the hair. Oh, jeez. But not only that, like, line art doesn't have to be super clean. I think that's something, like, I need to learn how to let go. Because I think that's why I don't really like how I do line art, or how I do, like, inking in general. Because a lot of my inking looks, like, stiff, or too clean. And I would benefit more from having more of that energetic quality to the lines and sketches, like, of my sketches. Okay, now we have that on separate layer. Let's work on his hair. So I usually do eyes, skin, then hair and clothing on separate layers. I usually do eyebrows also on a different layer, but I might put them on the same layer as the eyes just to save space. Being too precious. The line art again. Try to break up this braid a little bit. How do you guys like the new Abyss though? I hate it. Corrosion sucks. So I probably have to do it again so I can get 3 stars on that last chamber. And then try my hardest on floor 12. Floor 12 I've been having issues with. So I know I can get more than 3 stars. But my wrist was not having it. But I feel like playing on my on my phone, this is bad. I feel like I'm gonna go quiet a lot of the time when I'm doing the line art. Okay, braids more or less done, so we can do the rest of his hair. Okay, let's work on his clothing. So I'm gonna add one more layer. God dang it. So add one more layer. I'm gonna put this below the hair. And we're basically just gonna add in his accessories, any miscellaneous stuff that we need to add in, like his hat, bow, like pretty much all the clothing I add at this stage. That's like one thing I also wanted to address is that the reason why I work in a painterly style is not because I can't do line art. This is my preference of doing line art is very low. I have the most fun sketching. So if I can spend the most time doing that, then I'd rather do that. Flower. Oh, I want this to be like almost like a brooch or some kind of decorative element that's kind of like metal. So I don't really want it to flow. I'm gonna widen the vest part a little bit. I don't really like having the edge that close, but I'm kind of too lazy to fix it. Did I make him too thick? I can't tell. I feel like I did. Should move this in a little bit. I think it's because I can't see where this would stop and where it would end. I feel like this might be a little bit better. Kind of erase these lines. There's probably a lot of errors in this, but I think we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, perfect. There's Gaussian blur. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna actually look at the snapshot reference that I have of Dino, and I'm gonna mimic the background kind of. So I'm gonna need. Now I usually use the colored pencil, but if I remember correctly, oh no, this actually will work. I thought it was like a lot smaller. To be honest, I don't know how to get this. Actually, it's not that bad on camera. It's a little too vibrant, maybe that's why, because it's hard for you guys to see, but also the lines look really thin. Oh, I still have stabilizer on. Turn that off. That's better. Can't make this look straight. I'm just copying the colors, not exactly the same shapes, because a lot of Venti is covering it. And I'll add more effects and stuff after to make it look a lot more kind of like a actual stage. Doing a little bit of a lens blur as well. I'll add other stuff afterwards, but I think this kind of looks like a stage. And I'm gonna see if I can set this folder to be... Can I set this to be the reference layer? Okay, so that's what you're gonna do. So for your bucket tool, it says reference layer right here. You can click on specific layer, and I changed it to the folder. So then when I'm bucketing on this layer, it's referencing my line art basically. I just like ate something spicy, so apologies if my stomach makes like growling noises. So like I said, like the gap recognition for Ibis Paint is pretty good, but I am still gonna go over some of these areas. And I usually don't mind being messy when I'm coloring the skin. I'm usually more clean with the other elements, like such as hair, clothing, the eyes and stuff, just because it's not gonna be covered up. But for the most part, like the skin will be covered up. So this does have the little texture on it. I don't really mind, because from afar you can't really see it. But if it really bothers you, but you like the tool itself for the most part, other than texture, you can definitely go and change that in the settings. I always think doing the planes for the fingers always helps show which direction they're bending. I feel like coloring's a little bit more straightforward though. Just because it's pretty much the same steps that I usually do for even when I'm not doing the line art. I'm actually going to change the line color. So what you can do is... How do I... Okay, open up your folder. Now luckily I didn't make my colors for my line art black. So this is going to be a lot easier for me to change. So I'm going to adjust the color. Hue and saturation. Probably leave it like that. I might add a lighter color, but also a little bit more of a duller color. And we're gonna lock, alpha lock, alpha lock, alpha lock, alpha lock. Sometimes I like to change the inside line art color to be a little bit softer than the outside ones, but I don't mind doing it right now. What is this? That's another thing I don't really like about Ibis Paint. I wish there was a way to turn off, like if you're working with a stylist, then it will know that you're not going to use your finger as a marking tool. I know some people color like the eyelids like this, and then some people don't. I think it's interesting. And I know some people add more of a brighter highlight here. I've been doing that more recently. I think it does look really pretty. A little bit on his nose. Keep his eye whites a little bit clean. And we can work on the eyes. So I work on eyes a little bit differently. So I'm just gonna follow this. I'm gonna make a new layer on top. Let's actually change the color of his eyes first. I'm picking kind of like a dark greenish blue for his eye color. And then on the new layer, we're gonna choose almost like the base color, or like kind of like a mid-tone. Kind of do an outline of his eyes. And then bucket that in. Make another new layer. We're gonna clip this to the new color that we have. I'm gonna choose the base color, or like our darker eye color. We're basically gonna do kind of like a gradient going downwards. Now it's gonna be a little bit harder with the color pencil, but should work. I'm gonna do this all in one layer, I think, just to make this easier for myself. I'm just kind of messing around though, because usually I have a certain way I do like the paint eyes, and I'm mostly like more or less following the same method. But there are some areas that I'm kind of just kind of fiddling a little bit. Let's do a highlight. So I still like how this looks. I'm gonna add a little bit more, kind of like a blue color. And I usually like adding a hint of another color in the opposite edge of where the highlight is. I just think it looks prettier. But then also kind of just do a little bit of color on the edge. I know like Genshin characters kind of have this little extra color up there, and I always think it looks a lot prettier. I'm gonna add a little bit more shadow underneath his eyes for this part. Whoops. I'm just gonna still alter some of the line art color because there's like a certain look I like to my line art, and this is a little bit too jarring to me if it's all almost like one color. Oops. And I tend to make the corner of the mouths a lot darker. But not only that, like getting thinner lines I find easier if you do with line art. Just because I sketch with a little bit of a thicker brush. So his hair is like a dark, kind of like, well I guess it's black. His hair is black, but then it has like teal or like blue ends, which I think is really cute. Change his eyebrow color. I'm gonna change his hair color, like the line art of his hair color really quickly. Basically to black so we can see everything. Now the hair usually I follow like a certain method, but I don't know if do I want to, or do I want to do it on one layer? Because I could take my time and just do it on one layer. Okay. Lock that. I think I'm gonna make new layers and clip them, but then in the end I'm going to merge them. I just find adding detail to hair is a lot easier if you like merge them. I'm gonna have to fade this out because I don't really like how it stands like above the hair. Usually I would fade that in. I'm gonna merge this down. Nope, merge down. We're gonna lock it. I'm gonna make a new layer. We're gonna set that one to multiply. So this is done very messily, but we can clean it up as we go. See, this is what I don't like having the quick eyedropper on. Maybe we'll just do this for now. Giant portion of his hair. And usually when even coloring hair, like it's good to vary it up and make some like smaller areas, some thicker areas, shorter areas, longer ones. let's change that back to multiply. So next I'm gonna do is add another layer. We're gonna do kind of like the highlights. So part of this is gonna look more like rim lighting, but I think I'm gonna do that at the very end anyways. But like you can see that instead of doing like using the eraser tool, I'm doing how I usually paint hair, where I kind of go back and forth and use the highlight color or like the highlight color or like the base color to help create these little shapes. Merge. So when you're merging layers that have like, what are these called? Like blend modes? Merge them in the same order that they are. So that's like starting from the closest from the bottom. So I'm going to start with this one and merge it down. Then merge the next layer down so that everything kind of keeps intact. I'm just going to lock it and we're going to clean this up, and then I'm going to add a little bit around the edges of his hair to make it a lot softer. I kind of want to add a little bit of this green color to the highlights. Just gonna change the shape of this area, and then I think we're done with the hair, other than adding a little bit of the skin tone back into the hair so that we can kind of make it look a little softer. Yeah, I think it looks cute. So I'm gonna add last thing to his hair. I'm gonna clip that. We're gonna grab the kind of like shadow color for the hair first. The texture is very apparent. So maybe we're gonna go back into basic. There are airbrushes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's use Airbrush to do this, because I think the texture is gonna throw it off quite a bit. You don't want it everywhere. I don't remember what I was saying after the phone call. Okay, yeah, but you don't have to do it in every little area. So I would do it closer to the pieces that kind of like frame the face. What I'm gonna do is lower the opacity, because you don't need it to be that jarring, because look at this. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna use the airbrush to do this too. And I'm just picking colors that is within the hair and kind of lightly going over areas to make them lighter. Because this kind of softens everything up. Yeah. Okay. Now the most tedious part is the clothing, because I'm going to do it pretty much all in one layer, other than setting it to multiply for the shadows, just to make it a little bit easier. So make another new layer. Make sure this is in the same folder though. Okay, let's choose colors. Because I can't color pick. His sleeves are also going to be kind of this off-white color. But can you tell like why I don't really like working this style? It's so tedious. Even though the results are nice. So I wanted his vest. This is a vest. This is a vest. Or tailcoat vest thing to be dark brown, but now I'm not liking it. Maybe we make it like a dark blue. I mean, I don't hate it, but Because I think I think maybe brown looks a little bit more like different in a sense. But blue looks more like butler waitery. Let's leave it brown. I think brown's cuter. I'm just too biased towards blue. You guys can let me know if I was wrong. I should have left it. Man, oh man. So much the color. Okay, so we're gonna choose a color. As you can see, multiply kind of helps me overlay this color in a dark way, but also like it goes onto every color without making it like opaque. I don't know how to explain the multiply tool, you can probably look it up. Whoops, nope. I'm gonna colored pencil. Okay, we're gonna have to remember, so I'm gonna go, whoops, clip this. Block in some of the bigger areas first. But you can see the shadows are kind of dull. So we can also go back with the airbrush to add color to it after locking it. I'll show you guys what I mean, but yeah, I feel like I haven't been talking about much stuff. I feel like I'm a little frustrated working on this. Yeah, I think we have the basic shadows all laid out, which means we can start to refine this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lock and then use the airbrush. Oh, we can still do it in the color pencil. Let's just do it in the color pencil. I'm going to add some other colors into it. The purple makes this look a little bit more saturated, but also because I'm bumping up the saturation. So you can make this area a lot darker. But I feel like the vibrant shadows help a lot more. But also like deepening the shadows. And now that we can lock this, we have pretty much all the colors we need on the canvas. So I'm just going to basically clean things up. Just on this one layer. Yeah, I'll do a comparison one day where I'll do another character, maybe as an idol. Maybe I'll do Kazuha. I think that'll be fun as an idol. Because I did Barbara and Shinyan before, but I did it in my painterly style. But I think it'll be interesting if I did it in this kind of style. Is this Procreate? I do have to have a bit of a different kind of workaround for the way how I have the layers set up. Because I believe in that program, you cannot set a folder to the reference layer. Go look at the animal symbol. I think that's like one of the things I always forget how to draw. Oh, his vision's actually a lot darker. I feel like this is one of the easier ones to draw though. That or the Geo one. I feel like I should know how to draw the geo one. I draw albedo so many times. Just because I occasionally get the comments that say like, oh, this is why I prefer people working in Ibis Paint, because I prefer the results done on Ibis Paint. And I feel like you actually don't. It's just you prefer me using Ibis Paint. I feel like it doesn't really matter what program you're using, if you can get the same results. But I feel like there is preference whether or not which program you guys like seeing me use. I know a lot of you guys don't really care, and I always appreciate that, but there's always comments on my Procreate videos where they're like, please use Ibis Paint again. Or like, I'm waiting for Ibis Paint video, and I'm like, eee. Let's add a little bit to there. Now we can add, or not add, we're gonna go to the line art, go to the clothing, alpha lock it, and we are going to make things look a lot softer. I usually use the airbrush tool, but this time I'm not going to, just out of convenience. Because far away you can't really see the texture. Okay, I'm switching to the airbrush. I lied. I can see the texture. And it's not bad to have the texture, it's just, for me it's a little too much in some of the areas. Oh, maybe I should have, I'm gonna color this again. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so now that I have all of them in this one folder, so you can tell, except for that one little mess up, I'm going to clip. I'm going to go to add. Take a lighter color. We're going to switch to the airbrush. And then kind of just go over the edges a little bit. Like a rim lighting. Spotlight-ish. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. And then I'm gonna add a few more things. So we're gonna add a new layer. Also add it to add. I'm using kind of a harder brush. I'm gonna use the mapping. Is the mapping? Oh, mapping is too small. Or let's just use the colored pencils for this. I don't know why it's making ovals. Oh, I see. Kind of add these little, it's almost like a bouquet effect. Moving blur. Whoops. Yeah, I think this is it. I think we're done. I think he looks actually really cute. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me draw Venti as a Japanese idol, or like an idol aesthetic. I'm just gonna exit out and we can go watch the final portion, and I'm gonna let the time-lapse kind of run via the actual video and not via my iPad. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me draw him for like 4 hours. I had a lot of fun actually drawing this in Ibis Paint, and I'll definitely do another attempt at something similar to this, maybe Kazuha or someone else, and I'll do it in Procreate. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time in another video. Bye!